Hey guys, welcome to Vanishing Gates.
Oh man.
Oh, are we live?
Yeah, no, weird. It's weird. We're live.
It's
You're
weird,
here,
and this
you're
show is
both
also
here. It's
unexplained.
awesome and crazy. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Vanishing Gates, guys. As always, I am your host in the Freudian, the weird, the strange, the Fordian, the Freudian, the Fordian, the weird, the strange, unexplained, etc., blah blah blah. Jay, and with me as always are
What's up?
oh wait, but not as always.
The distracted Jack.
And this guy.
I'm Paco, and we just had a technical difficulty.
Guys, we do have a guest on the line who
Not anymore.
He totally is not on the line.
I don't hold. I think he misunderstood what's going on. I will call him back momentarily, but as we normally do, per sequium,
Maybe we should just put him like on.
made that up. Cigar of the show. What is cigar of the show there, Jack?
Yes, Dave. Sunglasses.
Something.
once again.
It's all right.
It's good to see you guys, though.
What
Camacho.
cigar? It's a Camacho. Barrel aged.
Yes, this is a barrel-aged Camacho, and this thing is
Spent
phenomenal.
5 months aging in a.
I absolutely love this cigar. This is
Bourbon
my new
barrel.
favorite cigar right here. This thing is
Really
awesome.
I
good
wanted the
cigar.
Genghis Khan,
It
but
is.
Seth said no.
Paco. So, guys,
Paco said
we're
no.
coming
It's cheap.
upon the Christmas season.
I didn't see
What
you
is a
before.
better gift to give your lovelies than a horrible snowman that scares the crap out of people?
Horse head in the bed, just to remind them who's boss every once in a while. Am I right? Am I right there, Paco?
Seeing how you're seeing how I'm the only single one here, I'm gonna leave that one up to you and Jake.
I like to do it every once in a while,
I'm
just to keep people on their
actually only
toes.
single. But anyway, so a good gift is a dreadful snowman from Jason at Cotton Studios. Check
No
out
way.
Cotton Studios on Facebook.
Hey, when are we supposed to be getting like a worm from him or something like that?
Why did you hit me in the face with that? I'm gonna burn you with my cigar now.
I mean, Jason, I love you. I love you. I never met you, but I love you. And I still look forward to your artwork being presented here at the Vanishing Gate studio. But were we supposed to get a worm from him?
You are being kind of a pandering bitch,
A
though.
little bit. I'm just
Look.
trying to speed up the process.
Look, I mean,
It's called expedite.
if we don't use the pressure, turn the screws a little. We gotta get what's ours.
You know, a gift is a gift, and you guys don't treat
And a gift is a
sponsors
gift.
that way.
You getting gifty with the gifts?
Speaking of sponsors,
Memes.
We have a sponsor.
we have sponsors. Speaking of another sponsor,
Mm.
and if you
Wait.
try to turn the thumb trigger to this one, he might actually kick you in the balls because he's local.
He is local.
We like Jason McCall Studios. His work is amazing. We're just being sarcastic.
We are very
Here,
sarcastic.
Jack,
Yeah,
go ahead,
no,
do
like,
this.
we appreciate all the
Go ahead, Jack.
do it.
Read a sponsor, Jack.
all the artwork
Do
that
it.
you
Be a
do
big,
over
strong man.
Dio's Sandwich Shop. I'm just gonna read exactly this on the card because I don't know how to do
there.
it.
Wait, hold on. What sandwich shop is it?
It's Dio's Sandwich Shop.
No,
for your
Dio's
grilled
closed
cheese
down.
pleasure.
Dio's closed down.
What?
Dio's closed down.
No,
No,
No.
it's not.
What?
It's right
Are
here.
you telling me
Sponsor.
Dio's is back?
it's back.
Dio's is
Back.
back.
Back with a
Action.
vengeance.
Oh my
Wait.
goodness. The best
Do they
Christmas
play Holy
sandwich
Diver?
ever.
Do they play Holy Diver there all the time? Hold on. It's Dio's Sandwich Shop for grilled cheese. They've got a great grilled cheese menu.
That's their lunch menu, their special menu for lunch.
Their special menu for lunch. My apologies. You got to get the Texas toast. I know they give you the offer of wheat or white, but Texas toast is the best. I'm sorry, it is.
I'm more of a
It's the
sourdough
best.
fan.
No.
Yes.
Texas toast.
No, I'm a sourdough guy.
No.
Yeah.
No sourdough.
Hey,
No.
hey, by the way, did he put 3 L's in grill?
No, he did not.
Sorry, it's like jump between Jay and
I can't always read. Anyway, located here in Eureka, California, in friendly Henderson Center, the heart of Henderson Center, at 429 Grotto Street, you can go to Dio Sandwiches and get a bomb-ass sandwich. And also, if you go in there and say, hey, heard about you on Vanishing Gates, guess what? you'll get some fashion of discount
Boom.
because the owner's boss.
And we're awesome.
I mean, that makes sense.
I
that
don't
the
know if I
owner's
like
boss.
this.
The owner
Yeah.
is boss.
This cigar's pretty dope. I don't know what you're against the cigar for.
It's just because he
You
didn't
didn't
get
go
what he wanted. He's being petty.
Look, I'm being a little childish.
He
tonight.
is.
He's being petty.
I require better
Yes.
cigars for life to continue. Okay?
Tom Petty died, so you're taking his place.
Yes.
You didn't know what it's like to be him.
Yes, I did.
No, I mean, I was telling.
I am the reincarnated form of Tom Petty.
Too soon.
Anyway, so
Shut
also
up!
business is important. So you need business cards made, you need T-shirts made, and coffee cups printed. What you should do is go to proprismdesign.com and check them out, and also get your stuff printed there, and let them know Vanishing Gates sent you. Is there
Don't-
like a repetitious thing?
Don't quote me on
Is
this.
this the thing that's
Don't
happening?
quote me on
Like,
this or anything. But like, even if you want your name, like your
Look.
family or something like that, like imprinted on your house, they'll even do that for
We
you.
have an emergency
I
on the
don't
show.
think they'll do that.
If
No?
anybody lives in the area, please
No.
bring me another drink. I am almost out.
It doesn't work like that.
PSA.
No.
But it totally worked like that for Jay and I last time, but it doesn't work like that for you.
Yeah, no.
Shut up.
You know, if you want, even if you want something like completely just like your car decaled out with stuff.
I don't think they'll do that.
They won't do that.
I don't
No.
think so.
Oh man.
But it doesn't matter because if you need business cards and custom embroidery
hmm
and coffee mugs and stuff,
hmm
hit up proprismdesign.com. It's a woman-run business. Let them know we at Vanishing Gates, a man-run business, sent you. It'd be super-
Why these things are important, we're still not sure, but screw it.
Why is that funny? Who knows? Oh man,
We're bad people at Vanishing Gates, and we've lost the plot.
why is everyone dying around me?
Well, I haven't even drank
confused.
anything yet. I'm pretty sure I'm the drunkest person in the show right now.
You are. You are. That was just. It, okay, so actually it reflected on something that I watched earlier last evening.
Something you
And
watched?
yeah, yeah, it was
You
on.
watch things every evening.
Was this after your date? Your right hand finally quit on you?
Dude,
Hey,
You're
but
the only
you know
person
what?
whose right
You
hand
know what,
ever
though?
stood them up.
You know what though? The left one took over where the right one finished. So that's fine. It's totally fine. You always gotta have one on backup.
all right. That said, I now have to recall our guest, Dennis Hagan.
I didn't have time to let it out before the show. So this is my fault.
this is what you get with
I was too
with like
busy
a month. When a month goes by with all three of us together, we have to do it all in
We're
one show.
not together. Yeah.
We haven't
Oh,
been able to
God.
release the humor until just now.
All right, guys. Hey,
Oh, my
whoa,
God.
keep your release to yourself. You guys can
I
share
know
that
you do.
when I'm not here.
This show has exploded.
Sure.
Nobody wants to help him with his release, so it's okay.
This is so true.
This show.
All right, guys.
It's the
I
best
do
show.
have to recall our guest for the show
I'm ready for that.
All right, let's go on.
because legitimately we have an actual cool guest.
Center ourselves, Paco. Let's center ourselves.
Centered.
Centered. We're in. Let's do this.
We're done. It's over.
Hey, Dennis, how are you? So, I mean, I had you on hold there, and we were going through our startup. We're here live now. Guys with us on the line is Dennis Hagan from Toledo Spirit Hunters. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome, man. So, tell us a little bit about how you got into the paranormal.
I was actually interested in the paranormal, like, I would have to say a while back. And then, like, I started watching, like, Ghost Adventures, and I think it kind of intrigued my passion for it more. And then they offered a local team here offered a class, and I took it, and I joined the team for a while, and then eventually I broke off from that team and started my own team.
Nice. So, how did you go about starting your team? I'm going to put a slideshow up here of you guys from the pictures you sent me here.
How I what made me start my own team?
Yeah, how did you go about starting a team? How did you get the team together? Like, what did you do? Do you go to like a Craigslist ad, or did you just find people? Like, how did you manage to get people together to be a team?
I basically started like a personal paranormal page on Facebook, so I like separate my personal life from my ghost hunting life. And on my paranormal page, personal page, I put on there, I'm looking to start a team. If anybody's interested in, joining my team, contact me. So, I had some, intriguing people contact me. And then I had a couple of close friends that were into the paranormal, and they wanted to investigate. So I talked to them, and one of my co-founders with me is Nicole. She's a co-founder with me. She can't be here to interview either. She's actually got to work tomorrow morning, that's why she isn't here with me. But she's a co-founder. And then I have Melissa, who's my lead investigator. And then I have Eric, who's an investigator.
Nice.
So I have a really good strong team. I'm proud of my team. I have nothing wrong with my team. They're awesome people. We get along great, and we laugh. We know when to be serious and when to be, have fun and be funny. Basically.
All right. One second, I'm trying to get it so we can have people hear you.
Hey Dennis, how long has your team been together?
We've been together for about, I say maybe about 4 months now.
Nice. So, what was the thing that brought you into the paranormal? What brought you into the fold? Like, what was it for you? Like, were you a non-believer prior, and you had an experience? Like,
I wasn't a non-believer. I did believe in the afterlife and spirits. I think what really brought me into it was I wanted to communicate and experience it for myself. And once you experience it the first time, it's like an adrenaline rush. Once you feel, once you get touched, once you hear that first EVP, once you capture like something on a thermal imager or on your on your IR camera or whatnot, it becomes an addiction. You want to go out and you want to capture more evidence. You want to be that first person to go to their friends and say, hey, look, I call it a full-blown apparition, So that's what intrigued me to get into it, was that I wanted to, experience it for the first time.
nice, man. So, before that, like, were you a religious person, or just a person who just sat around, didn't think about otherworldly things? Was there something else there? Like, did you have an encounter when you were younger, maybe as a kid?
I never had an encounter with the paranormal. Never. I know it's weird. I know it's funny to hear that, but I never had an encounter with the paranormal. So I basically was just a normal person, going to work, supporting my family, stuff like that. And I just got intrigued by it and wanted to do it.
Well, that's cool, man. So, what was your first investigation?
I gotta think. Let's see, what was my first investigation? Our first investigation was when I joined the team before I started my own, was a residence in Michigan. It was actually kind of cool. In that residence, the bedroom was highly active. I mean, we called them really good EVPs over the spirit box. We also got a flashlight to turn on and off. Let's see, but yeah, I mean, that was my first investigation. Um, but I can tell you out of investigating places like the Gill House, the Toledo Yacht Club, um, Hollywood Arts Center here in Toledo. Nothing would even match up to Waverly Hills Sanatorium,
Oh, you went to
where I've
Waverly.
investigated. Yes, I have been to Waverly. And
Nice.
if you want to experience, and I tell everyone, if you want to experience the paranormal and you want activity, go to Waverly. Because in Waverly, I was touched. I heard a disembodied voice in the nurse's room where she hung herself. I caught EVPs without a spirit box just walking up and down the hallways. I caught a shadow figure on my thermal imager. My REM pod kept going off in the children's ward, would not shut off. I mean, it was full blown 100% active. And
That's pretty cool.
that is always going to be on the top of my list.
That's actually really awesome.
Yeah.
That would really inspire somebody to be able to, to want to feel that itch again, and to be able to find that next site that has that much more activity, just to be able to witness everything once again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the disembodied voice was crazy. We were, me and two other girls that were there, we were in the nurse's room at 502, and the one girl asked, did you die in this room? And my REM pod was sitting on the floor, and it went off. And then next thing you know, we're feeling a cold spot, and like a charge of energy. And then it shifted to my left. And I told the other girl, come here, come feel this. Next thing you know, I hear this female disembodied voice say, help me. I was like, whoa.
That's pretty intense.
Very intense. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Waverly Hills is very intense, and I'm planning on going back next year to Waverly.
That would be awesome, dude.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I was actually I was down in for the Thanksgiving celebration this year. I went down to a family member's house, and the house that they own now, there was a gentleman who ended up dying in one of the 4 bedrooms that are there. And they were in the gentleman died in the back corner bedroom and everything, and it's right next to the bathroom. And it was actually last night. We didn't hear any voices or anything like that, but we're all just sitting there watching TV, in the evening time, relaxing, enjoying the evening. And all of a sudden we just hear this big, huge crashing noise, and we're going through all the rooms. We could see that nothing has been disturbed or anything else, and then we look in the bathroom, and there was a rack hanging in the shower, and on the rack it had like shampoo, conditioner, and body wash and everything else, and nobody had showered since that morning, so they went all day long. This is really late at night and everything. And apparently, all of a sudden, the shampoo and the conditioner that were on top of the rack were on the bottom of were on the bottom floor of the bathtub.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so it was actually kind of it was really strange, because it was, after a while, maybe, after some time of it tilting a certain way, it could have fallen. But, why wouldn't it have fallen, earlier, before, when everybody was showering and stuff like that? It kind of makes you wonder. And then they've had some sort of activity within the house before too, so it was kind of cool to witness over the Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So I totally get. I didn't hear any voices or anything like that, but I totally feel the rush that you felt, when you had felt, when you had witnessed everything that you had gone through already.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can tell you an experience I had in my own house that I had to get a priest to come out and bless my home. People may, think it's kind of funny or ask me what the heck was I thinking, but I purchased a haunted doll off eBay. Now I'm going to explain why I purchased this haunted Dow. The reason why is because paranormal side of me, which like Zach Biggins on Ghost Adventures, intrigues you. You want to know about haunted objects. You want to experience haunted objects. So it intrigues you. So I bought a haunted Dow. I investigated this first time. I introduced myself to it, and it repeated my name back to me over the spirit box when I went over to audio the next day. Wow. The second time I investigated it, it actually slammed my back door with full force. Literally slammed my back door.
Did you throw the doll against the wall at any point in time in this? Because I totally would have.
No, actually, the Dow, I was actually, no joke, I was Facebook Live on all 3 investigations of my Dow. So everybody could witness or hear anything that it did.
Right.
The Dow was actually sitting on my table. Now, I just purchased a SLS camera from Bill Chappell's company. And
nice.
I wish I had the SLS camera at that time when I was investigating my Dow. Now, I have 2 psychics that I'm really good friends with. The one told me that it had a negative attachment, and the other one told me I needed to bury it. So I basically made a mirror box, and I buried it in my in-laws' backyard because I have a big backyard. So
It's your
buried
in-laws.
there.
And then the in-laws.
Yeah, it's buried there. It's buried about 3-4 feet in the ground. So, but that's where the haunted Dow is. I had to get rid of it and bless my house because it had a negative attachment, and I had to also look out for my 2 boys. So.
Have you talked to like a medium about how the doll's working out there? Did you get, suggestion on how to get rid of the doll?
Yeah, I actually got suggestions on how to get rid of the Dow.
Okay.
I actually, the one psychic is actually good friends with Ed and Lorraine Warren's nephew, John. She was actually going to reach out to him and see if he would take the Dow.
Oh, okay.
But then I was like, you know what, I'll just bury it. Just bury it and not worry about it no more. But, the whole thing of the whole Dow is that it was an experience that I wanted to experience. What people don't realize out there today is that anything can be a haunted object. You can go to an antique store, you can go to a garage sale, and you can buy something, bring it to your house, and then all of a sudden you have paranormal activity. Beforehand, you never had paranormal activity. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just basically, it's just an experience. So when I'm doing residential investigations, I can also look for haunted objects that could be causing the paranormal activity besides the land or whatever itself,
Yeah.
So now my question for you is that like I think one of the things that people get confused is they don't realize that the object isn't like possessed, like nothing's living in it, but something is haunting around it, something's attached to it.
Like an energy, is that what you're trying to say, Jack?
Yeah, because some people get confused and they think that the item is possessed because they remember the fact that one of the rules that were laid down by like I think Ed and Lorraine Warren was that objects can't be possessed.
All right, so that in response there, Jack, Ed and Lorraine Warren talked about Annabelle very thoroughly. They had Annabelle, and Zach Baggins just manhandled Annabelle.
No.
Live.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that it's people. What I was reading when I was looking at these things, I was reading the comments and people were confused. They were like, okay, well, they just said that objects.
The
can't
idea
be
was
possessed.
the objects themselves don't have the energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
The object is possessed.
Like an infused object.
It's more or less something's attached to it versus like possessing it.
So here's the thing: people get confused on haunted dolls. Let's take dolls for instance, okay? We'll take the Annabelle situation. You remember when Zach investigated the Annabelle doll, right? You've seen how they had the SLS camera on the doll. It was jumping between him and the doll, back and forth, okay? The spirit can attach itself to the doll. Now, the spirit can make the doll move if it chooses to. What people don't realize is that the spirit can jump out of the doll, travel through your whole house, and can move things, make sounds, knock things, slam doors, stuff like that. People betray the movies to think, oh, the doll's going to jump up, start walking on the floor, and slam your back door. That's what people don't realize is that the spirit can jump from the dowel and travel through the whole house.
Because the doll is a receptacle. Something, it's an object, it's a receptacle. Remember, like did you follow the guys that were doing their 3D imaging? Like they 3D scanned like a haunted object, a cursed doll, like an idol.
Yeah.
Okay, and now things are going crazy for all the 3D scanned idols that are next to it because the energy is still part of it, I think.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
And that's what people don't realize is that because you have a haunted doll doesn't mean the doll's just gonna get up and move around.
The doll's not evil.
It can I mean the most it could do is it can raise its arm up, it could twist its head backwards like like the exorcist. But I'm just saying that it's not gonna get up and literally move like Chucky or any of the stuff portrayed on TV. That's all. They hype that up so that you can see the movie. But in real life, people have to realize if you have a haunted doll, the doll can sit on your fireplace and travel throughout the whole house.
The energy with it, yeah. It's like an energy thing. It's like bringing radioactive material into your house. It feels like to me is.
Yeah.
So what's the craziest thing you've ever seen?
What's that?
What's the craziest or scariest thing you've ever come across yourself? Like what to you is like the most unsettling or crazy thing?
I can tell you the most craziest thing and most weirdest thing I've experienced, and this is out of my whole time of investigating. In a recent case, we just got done helping a family like about an hour and 15 minutes away from here in Toledo. Me and Nicole, we went to assess a situation where the mother reached out to me on Facebook for her daughter who was pregnant, was having paranormal activity in their house.
Yep.
And we went to assess. I went up to the baby room where 90% of the activity was. And when I got up there, I got hit with full-blown anxiety. As soon as I hit that room, walked right through the door, I got hit with full-blown anxiety. It was so intense that I wanted to literally jump out of my skin. Like I wanted to leap at something. It was that intense. And then within a half an hour, that anxiety started to get worse, and it actually started to turn into like anger and rage, and I was starting to pace the floor with my fist balled. And I even told Nicole, I said, I feel like I want to hit something or someone. And I never felt like that before.
Did you feel like a walk-on? Are you familiar with that term, walk-on?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you think it was?
I mean, I don't know, like the whole blown situation that was going on there, but we did go back last week and we did a full-blown investigation, and I used my SLS camera, and I had my spiritual cleanser at that time cleanse the house, and ever since we cleansed the house, they said they've actually left a message on my Facebook, and they said, we appreciate your help, what you and your team have done. Me and my daughter, my daughter's living in peace now. There's no more paranormal activity. We are very thankful for your help. So whatever was there is gone. I don't think it was not like malicious or demonic or anything in that nature. I just think it was just maybe an unsettled spirit, just wasn't happy.
Just a lot of energy that like happened to gleam onto you and needed your energy to move around for a minute, probably.
Yeah, that could have been. It didn't really attack. It it didn't really attack my co-founder Nicole, but she said she felt like she just couldn't breathe for a little bit, like she was having like trouble, like chest pain.
Yeah.
But it was really weird because like after we went to do that walkthrough and we left that for an hour, we came back home and the second night we both had nightmares. Like we both had dreams about the weirdest crap.
Like night terrors or
It was
nightmares?
really
Because there's a
weird.
big difference.
Yeah, I know. I can't really say. I mean, she said she had maybe a nightmare. I had a weird dream. Because
Okay.
she texted me the next morning and she was like, Dennis, I had the weirdest dream last night. And she woke up at 3 a.m., which was weird. So, but yeah.
Mid-witching hour. I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you... I'm getting from you, you're a very nice person. Like, you are a very soft-hearted person in a very positive way, by the way. Not a negative way at all. So are you more like the kind of person who's non-aggressive and more... What's the word I'm looking for here?
I don't, like you saying, like, if I investigate, do I provoke or anything?
Yeah.
I don't really provoke.
Yeah.
I don't provoke. I think that night when I was starting to get angry, I was provoking some. I mean, Nicole told me that she was watching every move I made and was watching me carefully, and she said that I did a whole 180 from the person I really was.
Okay.
Like, I just turned into this person I wasn't.
So, I know one thing is that when we feel heavy emotions, it releases a sort of energy throughout like the atmosphere. And anger is one of those things that we're very quick to do. It's one of our natural instincts. It's kind of like anger. It's a survival trait, and it takes fear from us. So that way we can face something that we wouldn't fear previously. We get angry instead. And so my assumption has always been one of the reasons people get mad and start like provoking and stuff is what's happening is the thing that's there somehow finds a way to manipulate you into getting angry. It pulls it out.
The chemicals.
It tries to scare you. It tries to make it puts like an unsettling feeling into the air around you to make that survival trait come out. Because you're not going to run. You're one of those people who instead just starts to go into survival mode of defense. It's instead of fight and flight. Instead of flight, you have fight.
Fight, flight, or pause.
Yes.
And that's what I was saying is I don't feel like you're one of those guys who wants to just fight. I feel like you're someone who actually cares and wants to nurture and help people just by talking to you.
Yeah.
So for you, that must have been a really intense situation.
It really was intense. I actually had to go outside and take a deep breath. And gather my thoughts again.
That's the thing about investigating, guys. You got to be super careful about investigating situations because the people who want to investigate, most of us care and want to help, but we open ourselves up. And the thing is, if the idea that this is disembodied energy or bad spirits, we open ourselves up, and that causes, because energy runs everything.
Well, I mean, one of the things I've noticed is like with the Ouija board is most psychics that I've heard talk about it say that anger is one of the worst things to have because it's essentially like it turns you into a giant battery. It's tough to get rid of. And you can't just go from being angry to happy in like a second.
Hey, whoa. Try being a redhead. It's fine. It's totally normal and easy.
It's a human emotion. It's totally not normal. You can't. It's
okay,
hard.
so
It's hard.
Dennis, have you ever played the Ouija board in a way that anything happened, or?
Nope, never touched the Ouija board. Never will touch a Ouija board.
See, it's not just me.
Okay, so at the same time though, I want to ask you your opinion because I brought one on a couple times.
And you touched me with it.
And nothing happened because
we didn't take it seriously.
Now that said, I do have a spirit box. I have an EMF detector. I have all the ghost hunting gear. We got stuff on. How is the Ouija board? Do you think? How is it different than say using an SB7 ghost box? In your opinion.
With the SB, I had to think for a minute because with the SB7 spirit box,
yeah,
I mean, yeah,
Spirit box. Yeah.
Let's take it. I mean, let's think about it. Let's think about it for a couple of minutes here. You know, Ouija board, SB, you're still communicating with the other side. Either way, you know that's guaranteed.
Yes.
But with an SB spirit box, you're communicating, trying to get the you get real life EVPs. With the Ouija board, the spirit is basically spelling out the word for you. Now, on the other end, with the SB spirit box, you know, yes, you don't know what you're communicating with, but with the Ouija board, you're running a risk to actually bring in a demonic situation or a negative energy.
So
with the SB spirit box, yes, you're communicating, but again, you could come across a good spirit, you can come across a negative spirit. Either way, you know, you're still teeter-tottering that situation.
Your antenna is just in the ether.
Yeah.
So my thought on that is actually my thought on the spirit box versus the Ouija board is that the Ouija board has been cited and stated that it's essentially a ritual. You're essentially using a ritual to summon or to pull something forward. It's a door. Whereas a spirit box, you're trying to find something that's currently there now. With a Ouija board, you're not trying to find something that's there. You're trying to pull something to you to talk to you. And so essentially, it's the difference between throwing out a net into the ocean and catching something, and just dipping a rock or just dipping a just a little fishing hook in.
And Dennis, I want your part of this too, but this is where I disagree with Jack here. This is Jay speaking. I disagree because if you're communicating with the other side, you're communicating with the other side.
Well, hold on. This is Paco speaking. With that being said, though, the spirit box, the ghost box, doesn't that act like as a middleman per se? Because like when your hands are touching the Ouija board, you're going through you're actively into the Ouija board with every connection, but with the spirit box, it's all electronic. You're going through
your intention is there.
Well, the intention is there, but it's still the box within itself that creates the middleman. That's how I feel.
Right,
okay, so
I'm not disagreeing, guys.
Let me reiterate what I was trying to say. Though, is that essentially is that the Ouija board, in my opinion, is essentially something along the lines like a séance. It's something more like a ritual.
You're not investigating something. You're drawing something in.
Yeah, you're not trying to find the thing that's there. You're trying to find. You're trying to bring something. To
right.
It.
Dennis, is that? Do you agree
with any point of that?
I actually feel that the Ouija board is meant for negative use. They use it, like devil worshippers use it. They use it for seances. They're trying to contact. It's for me, the Ouija board is more meant for like I'll give you an example. That haunted doll I still own. It's buried in my lost backyard. I still own it technically.
You can send it here if you want to get rid of it. I'll put it behind me on the set.
do you feel the same way about like crystals and stuff like that?
But the Ouija, what happened, the backstory of what happened with that was that a bunch of teenagers were messing with the Ouija board and they wanted to attach a spirit to a doll. Well, that happened. They got more than what they bargained for.
So your doll is a Ouija board doll?
So it's basically so mostly it's a Ouija board spirit attachment.
That's awesome.
That's why I had to bury it.
Wow.
I had a negative entity. Now, my take on Ouija boards is this. Ouija boards, I feel, is like, it's meant for negative use. B, it's meant for like little college people who want to get drunk and say, hey, let's scare the hell out of each other. So let's mess around with the Ouija board. You know what I'm saying? Now, my wife said her friends messed around with the Ouija board when they were 10. And they didn't have nothing happen to them, but I told her so far. I was joking around with her when I said that.
But, dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. I said, but that's how I feel about Ouija boards. Ouija boards I feel they're very dangerous, and when you use them, you're going to get what you cannot handle or what you're not going to be able to, more than what you bargained for. Yeah, you're going to get that scare. Yeah, you're going to get that fright. But Ouija boards have also been known to open up doorways to places that people never knew they could open. Now, when when I've investigated residential, so far residential investigations, I have realized that mirrors in people's bathrooms through an SLS camera, I've seen like spirits jump through the mirror and jump out. So
Damn.
I'm thinking that when there's a spirit in a house, I think they use that mirror as a portal.
Okay.
And it's really weird because this last investigation that we were on, I had my SLS camera to the mirror in the bathroom, and it picked up 3 spirits sitting on the sink.
Like I just got the stuff through my SLS camera, and I'm like, should I set it up? No, I probably shouldn't.
So, but I should have to go through all that evidence because I actually recorded the whole, like I did like 30 minutes of recording on my SLS camera. So I have to go through it, and you will see. And if you follow my page, I'm gonna post it.
Oh yeah, no.
See,
we definitely want you to post everything to the page.
Yeah, you can see the mirror in the bathroom, and you can actually see like 2 or 3 spirits like standing right on the sink, literally.
Holy crap! That said, by the way, guys who are watching, viewers, anything Dennis is posting or talking about, dude, I want you to feel free to just post this to the page. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got. Not only do we have the Vanishing Gates page, but we also have the Vanishing Gates viewer discussion page. Please feel free to post to both pages. And then also send out your links on our Twitter account
and follow
too.
Dennis as well.
And follow. Yeah, well, this is for Dennis himself to be able to get his name out there through us. Like we have the Vanishing Gates page, we have the viewer discussion page, we have our Twitter page that he's able to go through, put his links on, so all of our listeners can be able to contact him through our page also. This is for him. And then for our Vanishers.
And I don't think we discussed this early on
make sure you like
with Dennis, but if you're actually watching currently, like if you're watching us through something and you notice our facial reactions are strange, we have a 30-second delay if you're not listening to audio. So our responses are really delayed.
You know, well, before we do get too far though, I actually do have 2 questions, and one of them is kind of posted back to when we were talking about the way that you were feeling with the spirits that you were connecting with and everything else, and being that sort of sensitive guy, which is a good thing. I to that I had a question, like, and correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't know too much about. I'm still learning all this myself. I got into it when I joined the show. These guys.
He's a Bigfoot guy.
Yeah, I'm more of a Bigfoot guy. These guys have been in it all their lives. I've just started to learn this as I've been a part of the show. It's a great show. I love being with these guys. But anyways, with that being said, being that way with spirits and everything, to where it would bring you into the category of being sensitive. Thank you.
A medium or
sensitive. Like, couldn't you take your team to higher levels, being a sensitive yourself, and like owning and being able to prosper off of controlling and prospering off of what you get?
Hey Dennis, if you don't mind, I'll answer that one.
Well, if it's different, Dennis, then you answer after him, I guess.
If I'm wrong, you can answer. We don't do this for prosperity. If you're sensitive, you do it.
I don't mean it by that. I mean it by, like, you always want to go out and be able to help out more people. You always want to go out to be able to find the next thing.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? It's not financially. It's to be able to get your name out there, to be able to learn more, to be able to experience more, to be able to help out more. I don't mean it financially.
To get not your name, but to get your soul out there and help people.
It's still a prosperity.
That's one of the reasons I started this show.
It's just the way that you look at it.
I think that's one of the reasons I started the show. So Dennis is the right guy for this, because he's not seeking fame, but he has an ability, I think, to help people. I think that's what's out there, right? I could be wrong.
I respect.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that and Nicole is actually wondering if I'm paranormal sensitive, and I'm kind of starting to think I am paranormal sensitive.
As little as I know, from what I've been hearing, I kind of felt the same way.
I mean,
actually, if you don't,
I can give you another experience where I experienced something crazy too. here in Bowling Green, Ohio, I went to investigate a old school. It was called the Old South Main Street School. I was taking a tour, and we walked in throughout the whole school. And I think it's like 3 levels, and then there's an attic, and then there's a basement and the boiler room. Well, on the first floor, I think there's a second grade room. I walked in there, and I instantly got hit with like goosebumps, and I was like, and I told the other person who was taking me around, I said, "Do you feel that?" And he just looked at me like, "What are you feeling?" I was like, "I have goosebumps. Like there's something, like this room is fully, it's either there's something in here or it's fully like charged of energy, you know." Now, I did not feel that way throughout the whole school, but except for that second grade room, which is weird. Now let's see. Now I actually found out that my aunt is actually sensitive to the paranormal. One of my cousins actually had spirits actually reach out to her and try to communicate with her, but it scares her, so she don't really channel into it. So I'm really wondering that, on my mom's side that we are sensitive to the paranormal, and the more I get into this and then the more I help people, I might end up being paranormal sensitive. If you guys know who Elizabeth Sane is, I communicate. I actually talked to her. I actually, me and her really communicate on Twitter together, and I'm actually gonna reach out to her here soon and ask her about, being paranormal sensitive. Like, how do I know if I am? Because she's paranormal sensitive, if you guys know that.
I don't think I know who she is.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard. I swear I've heard the name.
Elizabeth who?
Elizabeth Zane.
Elizabeth Saint.
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 Oh, yeah. No, I think it's.
Sorry, I thought I heard Zane. I was like, I know Zane.
Yeah, she's with Nick Roth and Matt on Ghost of Shepherdstown.
Oh man, see, I'm bad. I don't watch TV, so.
No.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. She's with Nick Roth on Ghost of Shepherdstown. She actually investigates with Nick and that, and she actually creates her. She's an engineer, and she also makes paranormal devices like Bill Chappell.
Oh,
and
nice.
She actually prototypes them on Paranormal Lockdown with Nick and Katrina and stuff like that. So,
where we're coming from, me and Jack here, because we're brothers. Paco's our buddy, but me and Jack here, our grandmother can always guess a child's gender before birth.
I have guessed.
She will make a blanket every time.
I have not guessed. I have correctly predicted 3 different pregnancies predicted 3 different pregnancies within the week of someone actually being pregnant. 3 different times I've been right every time I've said it. I've been
but were you in contact with them closely?
I was right next to someone. Like I was.
There you go.
One person I was working with.
Your nose is good.
She was actually smoking at the back, and I got out of my car and I looked at her for a second. I said, "You should stop smoking because you're pregnant." And she's like, "No, I'm not." And then she went home. About a week later, she was puking and stuff, and she came back. She's like, "I hate you." And then she had a kid, which actually he's 5 now. But back to one of the things you were saying. I'll look at that second. Back to one of the things you were saying about psychic and mediums, that particular line of thought. I've actually had an opinion on it for a long time that before we had like communication, written or verbal, there had to be a way we were able to communicate to know whether or not we were a threat.
Somebody grunt.
And well, I think essentially.
Still good at grunting.
Maybe, perhaps we did grunt, kind of like
language.
Maybe like way back in the day we were basically gorillas who were grunting. But I think the truth is that we had a way to to hunt and to do things. We had natural senses that were a lot stronger, way back when. The ability to sense intentions of others, the ability to tell when danger is near. It's much like when your hackles raise. It's essentially a throwback. I don't know about like being able to see the future or read someone's mind, any of that stuff. But I think that like being able to tell when you're in danger, or when there's extra energy in a room, when a room is particularly haunted, that it's a natural inclination that we once had that simply died out once written communication and verbal communication came around because we no longer needed to guess. we knew what someone was going to do based on those verbal, by the verbal cues. So it's just something that died over time.
Damn, Jack's been off the show for over a month almost, and he's on fire.
We still kind of have that.
But
though,
yeah,
right?
no, like
I think it
not-
still exists in
but-
families.
Well, no, it exists in just within human beings
Yeah.
itself, and
You will
like,
always-
and like
every
we said
human
earlier,
will.
and like we said earlier, like you know, if everything has energy, then we share energy, and we share energy with everything else. So therefore, like we have a connection with like the animal kingdom within itself.
It could be
And so
also.
therefore, like, wouldn't you think that that's like part of like animal instincts, that
Yeah.
that part of the energy that we share?
That's what I'm saying.
what
It's a
that-
natural animal instinct. It's
Uh-huh.
like it's our sixth sense that essentially was once, but
Uh-huh.
eventually it was no longer necessary, and so our bodies just de-evolved from it. It was essentially
I think it's still
like
there.
goosebumps we
Yeah,
have on our
it's
skin.
totally still there.
There's
though.
yeah, it is. I think it still exists. It runs in family lines. It's stronger than others that it maintained longer
Uh-huh.
for some reason, for whatever reason. But I think it's much like goosebumps. It's much like what is it? What's that thing that
Butterflies in your stomach.
No. It's that organ in your stomach that we don't need anymore. That essentially becomes a bomb and
Appendix?
kills you. Yeah, your
No,
appendix.
they proved that was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, that was wrong. Well, there you are.
It's like I even have a story. I even have
Apparently, still need that.
I actually have a story that would actually like confirm the whole that instinctual sixth sense part. You know, whether you guys want me to share.
Yeah, go
Oh,
for it.
sure.
I mean, if Dennis is cool with it.
Well, are you cool with it, Dennis?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
once upon a time, I was married,
Once upon a
and
time.
Your instinct did not kick in.
but we were actually we were expecting our third child, and I worked a very long job. It was like 16 hours a day, and I didn't see my wife. The last time I saw my wife or spoke to my wife was the night before.
During that time.
No, the night before that I went to work, and so throughout the entire day I didn't speak to my wife at all. And I got off of work, and I told my office, I said, hey, you guys, I'm actually not going to be in tomorrow, and I probably won't be in for the next couple of weeks. My wife's going to have a baby tonight. And they're like, oh, did you talk to your wife yet? And I was like, no, actually I haven't. I just want to let you know that I'm not coming in. And they're like, oh, well, that's kind of weird, you know, but okay, let us know if you are or you're not. I was like, well, I'm not going to. And then I hop in my truck. This is 2 minutes later after I told my office this. I hop in my truck. I dial my wife's number. She picks up the phone. She says hello. The first things out of my mouth is, how far along are you? And she says, how did you know? And I was like, it doesn't matter how I know. Like, we're connected. Like, it's an instinct. Like, I know. Like, I feel it within myself. Like, it's like, even though we're like literally 20 miles apart, I haven't talked to you in almost 24 hours. You know, I know that this is going on right now. You know, and she's like, well, my contractions are freaking 5 minutes apart. My mom's here. We're just about to call the ambulance. If you can get here and take me to the hospital, that would be great. Had a baby that night. Didn't go back to work for 2 weeks.
If you don't mind me telling a story now, I think I've actually told the story on the show.
Sorry, Dennis.
I'm not
You'll get a
sure.
story later. Don't worry.
We'll get you there.
Oh.
I'm just trying to show that we do have these instincts. Like I don't know if I talked about a man named Barry who was basically my dad.
Anymore.
You know, it was a man named Barry, and he was basically like a dad to all of us. Essentially, he was a really great guy, amazing.
Yeah.
His last week of life, he comes out of the hospital, and I'm staying with him the whole time I'm there. I don't know if you know this, but some humans can actually smell like death and such.
Oh yeah.
It's a very acrid, bad
Yeah.
smell,
I'm
and you can
actually
smell
really
it
bad.
around a person when they're like dying on the inside.
If you've ever been a mortician,
And
I don't have to
they
be a mortician. I am.
They actually say that about a demonic presence, that if you smell something that's like putrid because of the demonic, like if you have a demonic infestation, you'll smell something that's like not even close to sewer smell. It's just
Yeah.
putrid.
and it's because the demons want to
it's
swarm.
worse.
I think personally, the demons want to swarm around where. a
My
person's
problem
living
is
life.
is that the thing is that it wasn't sewer smell. It was this weird. It was almost worse. It was much worse,
It was dead
and it was
body.
strange. It was
Yeah,
like
it's-
rotting. And the thing is the whole time I was there, and I
This is
looked at him
sick.
and we spoke. I thought to myself, for a week I sat with him, and I thought, the person that I knew is no longer here. Whoever's talking to me right now is gone. This is not the person I knew.
This is memories
And essentially, and after a week, I met my wife, or before that week, I met my wife, and she wanted me to go visit, and so I asked my mother to check on him, and I left, and I get a call while I'm visiting my wife's family down south, and my wife's sister says, you need to call you need to call your mother because she has some news. And I stopped and I looked at my wife and I'm like, let me talk. And I talked to her for a second. I said, she's like, your sister came by. And I said, was she crying? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, great. I'm like, my best friend just died.
Yeah.
And I called my mom and I'm sitting there consoling them because I already knew. I had known before I left what was going to take place. And I was just expecting the call. And so it didn't shock me at all. Like, I just knew it was over from the moment I left. I was like, I couldn't, but people have to understand, I'm not good with death. And so when I basically laid this on my mother, and I'm almost glad I am because she's seen stuff like this before, and she was actually the one who wound up finding it.
I'm great with death. I make jokes.
Oh, I've been terrible.
My bad. No,
I wouldn't have known how to handle it.
Whatever
because,
helps you sleep.
You know,
no,
she found it, so.
that said, yeah, no, it was a hardship for all of us, and yeah,
it was very sad.
So
Like,
Dennis, what do you feel about like that? How many times have you come across someone that you've known has been passed, and then has there ever been a chance for you to help them like on their way over, or has there been spiritual connection?
Like people who are already like spirits,
that makes
right?
sense too. Well, no, like
a purgatory style.
Yeah, spirit. No, not purgatory,
Well,
but
I mean, not like people who are going to die, but people who are.
they've been
already
so
there.
close to someone who's about to transition over and seen the aftermath before the aftermath. If that makes any sense.
Not a lick of sense.
I think I know what he's talking about. I think Dennis, what are your thoughts on that?
What are my? I didn't take the question. Sorry.
All right. So, have you ever been close to someone who is passing, and then been comfortable enough knowing what you know now versus the aftermath? If that's a better way to say it, I think. Or has it always been
it's
hard?
hard to say. It's hard to say. I work in a hospital as a nursing assistant.
Ooh.
So, I work in a cardiac unit. So,
Ooh.
Yeah.
That kind of desensitizes you to a lot of things, doesn't it?
No, he's good.
Yeah.
They live.
I mean, of course.
Don't downsize this guy's job, Paco.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, of course, if you work on a hospital, you're around death, on almost a daily basis. So therefore, it's a desensitization to your mindset.
It's not. I don't think it is.
Well, you have to, because if you don't, then you're just gonna do nothing but just like drown in the sorrows of it.
I don't
that's
feel like it
around
ever
you.
was. I was a mortician. Do you feel like it's desensitized? That's actually a really good question there, Paco. Dennis, do you feel it's desensitization when someone passes away, or?
I can tell you, like, working in a hospital on a cardiac unit, I've been involved in 2 codes, and both patients never made it, and, it can touch you, because, you see the family upset, it can touch you, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard to explain. It can get to you, but, you have to keep on a, straight face, and,
Yeah.
but death comes and goes in a hospital.
Okay, it's not desensitized more than it is just accepted, and then you just move on to be able to move forward with helping more people that you have on hand.
Just be careful what those books
Yeah,
say.
Don't worry, the books are fine.
it's one of those, you have to, accept it and, hope that they're in a better place. And
Well, you breathe back and you realize that you're helping the family too.
You know what?
By working your ass off to help those who are leaving life.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this be like one of those things like
I
the more you know?
Okay. So let's not end this on a downer note. I actually have a question now, knowing that you work in a cardiology. You work as a nurse for cardiology.
Yeah.
I want to know.
I work in a cardiac unit.
Oh, a cardiac unit. Have you ever seen anything in your hospital? Have you ever seen anything strange?
What, unknown?
Like
No,
ghosts or something?
Like a tree in someone's heart? What are you talking about, Jack?
if a tree falls in the hospital, will somebody hear it?
I have not seen anything out of the ordinary. I work the night shift. I'm a night shifter, and I have not seen it anything out of the ordinary yet.
So you've just seen sad things in the cardiac unit.
Which makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. it's just, I mean, it's weird because like working in a hospital, and me being a paranormal investigator, it kind of like intrigues you, but every noise you hear, you turn your head because you're like, okay, what is
that
that?
something?
Was that something? Yeah, was that something that can be unexplained? Can that be something that you can debunk? Stuff like that. I've actually, no joke, I've had actually a couple call lights come on by themselves
Oh,
for
I
no
bet.
reason.
I bet.
It's crazy, but nothing like out of the ordinary that would, make you start, like questioning things like,
Paco has another
what's
question.
going on. Yeah.
I have another question for you. With now knowing that you work the night shift and at a hospital and everything else, and you also have the paranormal team going on, which I absolutely congratulate on being able to juggle the both of them. How do you find time to be able to do so?
Good question.
What I do is, I work 12 hours 3 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I usually try to keep like Fridays and Saturdays nights open to investigate.
Okay.
Mostly.
So you've been doing this for quite a long time now, then I take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You sustained yourself within the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I balance my work life with my hospital life. But the difference is with the hospital, I get paid.
Right? That's the hardest part about the paranormal.
That's what I'm saying.
Shush, you'll get $1 later. That's like the craziest thing is people sometimes judge and crap on those of us who want to know about the unexplained, the paranormal, the weird. When we dedicate ourselves that time, that's our time. That's our lives. Like, if I were to charge by the hour what I put into the paranormal and stuff with my education, I'd be rich.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a passion project.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about care and compunction, and for us, it's also about fun and cigars and booze.
Well,
but at the same time, though, like, we still want to know. We still want to help those whose voice has been gone because their body's gone.
As much as I care for the show, and as much as I want to see the show be able to reach more people, to be able to spread the word and be able to connect with others, I'm just with the job that I have, I'm thankful that it's on a Saturday. It's the only way I'd be able to balance it.
So Dennis, the same thing. Do you have another investigation coming up? A big investigation you want to talk about that we can promote here on the show and have people watch?
Yeah. So.
Do you have another investigation coming on up?
Yeah. What's your next big investigation?
We're actually one of our investigators' aunt's house is actually having paranormal activity, and we're trying to get a date to go in and investigate her aunt's house.
Nice.
And she's also looking into a nice place in Michigan to investigate too.
You gonna do any of those live?
I might be Facebook Live on some of those. Yeah. I do go Facebook Live on some of the investigations I do. I can tell you, I investigated the Fulton County Historical Museum, and that was really cool. I was live there twice, not 3 times. Once before the investigation started, and then twice when I was sitting at the table watching the cameras, and one of the investigators I was helping out was up in the medical room, because what this building used to house Um, I'm trying to think. There used to be a school, and then it turned into a hospital, and it had tuberculosis patients
Oh
there.
yeah.
And I captured two EVPs from that place. One saying "F you," and the other one saying "I hate you." I also caught a female voice saying "Kendra." So it was kind of intense. I mean, it wasn't like Waverly Hills or anything, but it was kind of intense.
Well, I mean,
That's pretty awesome, though. I mean,
even at Waverly Hills,
Yeah.
I mean, they caught stuff, but it wasn't like
it
every
wasn't
5 seconds. You know,
insane.
it wasn't.
Yeah,
Right.
like, I'm planning on going to Michigan, and Chicago in this next year for the Paracon.
You know,
so.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna be
What,
there.
what
for
I was
that.
gonna
Are
say
you
there
gonna
was.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna be there for that. I really
Okay.
want to go.
Hold on. What I was gonna say to what you had to say there about it not being as good as Waverly Hills.
Ooh.
I am far more interested in the hauntings that are not Waverly Hills or those big, the big locations you can go to, like the asylums, the prisons, things like that. Because here's the thing: people need to understand that you're not going to get those big. The reason they're so famous is because there's so much happening. But when you hear about it from the small locations, it's actually just as interesting to see that it's happening outside of places where atrocities happened or horrible things took place.
We'll see how you're so interested in that. We have a new complex being built over there in Arcata, California, on top of a native burial site.
That-
Maybe we should go
That
out
just
there and
sounds
check it out.
dangerous.
That said, what I would say is, I think the energy that people that investigate bring in cause things to happen. Does that make sense, Dennis? Like,
Well,
that your energy might bring some of it out?
Well, I mean, that could be a possibility.
I can tell you, after I went to Waverly Hills Sanatorium, like within 2 days, I didn't feel like myself. I went Saturday, investigated, went home Sunday. Monday, I was not feeling myself. Tuesday, I felt better. I think it's because when you go to Waverly Hills, and I'll tell you, the place is big in person. I mean, it is a big building. I think they use your energy. They drain you,
Yeah.
and you are like not yourself the next day. And when you go like Tuesday, like I felt better. I felt like myself.
Makes sense. You know that idea from Ghostbusters about the whole building being built up?
well,
Dan Aykroyd didn't make that up. That was an idea that came before. He came across that.
Well, here's the thing. The being sensitive yourself and maybe not being attuned to it or being aware of it. When you're not aware of yourself, there's something to talk about, like people who are empathic. Is you take on the emotions of other people. You can feel emotions, and those places like Waverly Hills had to have had intense emotions at one point. And the ideal is that walls and houses or buildings could take on these intense emotions. And if they never left, there was no way to release that emotion. So essentially, when you go there, you could start not just because of the ghost, but because of what happened there.
I don't completely disagree with you, but I think I mostly disagree with you because empaths don't take on the emotions of things, just the hurt of people.
Of people, that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, there's probably still spirits there, still suffering from what happened.
Well, that's what I was saying about the whole thing about the Ghostbusters thing, about the whole idea that the building was built to resurrect. Anybody?
Vigo?
You the
No,
one
that's
talking.
the second Ghostbusters.
Oh, I don't know the first. I don't remember.
But the idea of the whole building being built to
that's right.
bring in the spiritual energy that caused Mr. Stay Puft to be a bad problem. Dan
Yeah, okay.
Aykroyd didn't come up with that. That was something that was well known and existed before that.
I'm glad he came up with the Stay Puft though, because we wouldn't have Stay Puft today if Dan Aykroyd hadn't done that.
No, you're right. You totally wouldn't be here.
I probably wouldn't exist. Best movie monster ever.
Y'all are killing me. So, what is your next paranormal investigation coming up?
We already did that.
We just went over
We
that.
just went over that. We just went over that.
I'm not
We just went over that. Actually,
I'm deaf
actually,
in 2 ears.
Dennis, we did go over that. If anything else that we really would like, if you could go ahead and give our vanishers a
Nothing.
place on which they can reach you at, or be able to be able to see what it is that you do. If you end up going Facebook Live with your paranormal investigation, it's a place that they can go through to be able to watch you and see what
We're
it
here
is
at
that
the
you have
hour
to
mark
offer.
at Vanishing Gates, and this is where we slowly go downhill.
Hold on, we've gone hours. I go hours. Dennis, what he means to ask you is, where can our viewers follow you and catch up?
They can follow me on Facebook. At I have my team page where they can reach me at Toledo Spirits Hunters. They can follow us on there. We post our documented evidence on there. I post EVPs I capture. I post videos of some really good stuff that I capture. We also have our own YouTube channel too that you can subscribe. I've posted. I just started actually. I think this month. I actually have the disembodied voice from Waverly Hills on there. Because I captured it on my recorder and my video camera all at the same time.
Awesome.
That's how loud it was. And I got a few other videos on there too when from a few other investigations on there. Let's see. You can also follow me on Facebook too at my own personal paranormal page too, where it's Dennis Paranormal. That's how you can find it. We also have our own website too. You can look up on through Google. Just look up Toledo Spirit Hunters. You can find our website.
We're also going to share those on the page too.
Yes, that we are.
Yeah. I also have a Toledo Spirit Instagram, and I also have a Twitter too for Toledo Spirit that people can follow too. I'll post EVPs on there, and I'll post like little short videos if I capture anything there too. I'll post on there too.
And you get some pretty cool stuff. So guys, don't forget, check out his page, check out his channel. It's pretty awesome.
Like it, share it, and follow it.
Absolutely.
That too, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And if you guys are following him on YouTube, make sure you click the little bell for the notifications.
Yeah, that too.
And
that
make sure
you
you're
know
all
when he
dialed
posts
in,
it.
and you know when he comes on up and when he's going to be able to do more and everything else.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you, taking the time out of your busy schedule, Dennis, to be able to come on our show and give us a little bit of insight on what it is that you do out there for us, or for everybody, really.
Really, for everybody.
For everybody.
It's for us as a people.
Right. Right. We the people.
Oh, facepalm. Thank you for being on our show.
Oh yeah.
Dennis, I can't wait to have you back on, buddy. I'm gonna have you back on real soon. Let's do another interview, just me and you two soon. We'll give you a whole show, just me and you as an interview where you can talk about all your investigations, bud.
Okay, yeah, sounds great. I would love to do that.
All right, man. We'll get you back real soon on the show as a guest. We really appreciate being on here.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's great to meet all three of you. If there is three of you guys there.
There are three of us.
There are three of us. There are. Yeah, I know it's a little difficult, but
we're loud, but we're three.
You got Paco, Jay, and Jack.
Yeah,
or
Jay, Jack, and Paco, whatever it is.
I mean, honestly, we could probably do like a 3-hour show just talking about stuff.
Yes, we could.
And, but it's great meeting all three of you guys, and I would love to be back on as a guest and talk about my other investigations and stuff. That would be awesome.
I can't wait to have you back on, but we can't just do everything at one time, or we'd only have one show.
Well, if you're ever in California too, let us know, and it'd be great to have you a guest on the show also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
And when I'm in Chicago, I'll probably hit you up.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try and get the rest of my team together and see if they can get on your show too and talk about their experiences and stuff.
There's one last very important question.
Wait, do you have a question?
Are you okay with one more question?
No, he's tired.
Yeah.
Didn't you know that? He works in a cardiac unit. He is tired.
What's the last
I'm
question?
more than happy to. I'm more than happy to answer questions. I'm not tired.
We got one more question that did not get asked that we ask every person, which is, what is your thoughts on Bigfoot?
Oh God.
What is my wife?
What are your thoughts on Bigfoot?
Oh, it's hard to,
You
it's
don't
hard
have
how
to answer that.
We are now going to the show.
I'm honestly skeptic about the whole Bigfoot thing. I never, I'm not
You never
saying it's
met
not
me,
true,
huh?
and I'm not saying exactly. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it is true, but
Yeah.
it's one of those I have to really
See
come
it
across
to
that
believe it.
situation.
So are you saying you don't have any faith in Bigfoot?
No, I'm not saying I don't have faith in it. I'm just saying.
All right, Paco, calm your tits.
I'm a skeptic about it. That's all.
Hey man, me too. So don't worry about it. We're good.
Jay needs to go fall down into a bed now.
Well, I'm quite fine. Hey man, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was a great opportunity for you to be on the show. We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for staying up so late.
No worries, Dennis.
We'll catch up with you soon. Want you on the show again very soon. Cool?
Oh, yeah, cool. Sounds good to me.
Hey, one quick funny question. Can I call you Toledo from here on out?
I don't care. It ain't gonna bother me.
Don't tell him that.
Yes,
Don't forever.
Yes. Yes, I told you I was gonna get on the show. All right, Toledo.
All right, bro.
Thanks for getting on the show.
All right, brother. We love you. We will. We're gonna post your stuff on the show, guys. We'll be posting his website and stuff on the show ASAP.
It was a great show, and thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome interview. What a nice guy. I'm gonna hang this up. So we can actually...
Good night, Toledo.
We're all gonna stand up now.
All right, good night, buddy.
I actually have to stand up for
Good night.
Oh, I got the Toledo in there.
Hold on.
We're still live. You're still a bad person.
Stop freaking out. Stop
Now,
enjoying the
ladies
Toledo.
and gentlemen, that's your one.
That's my one?
That's your one.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
I didn't say the F word.
Jay had like 4 in one show, so I don't know what you're
I
talking about.
did not drop the F bomb,
Just
did I?
one. You freaking did.
Oh,
Freaking
fudge!
Fudge sickles in flight. That was an awesome interview. That guy's dope.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, his enthusiasm about everything was really amazing. I really loved the way that we were all able to connect.
I counted how many times you said and it was about 23.
Well, that's fine because I'm not really a public speaker and get
he's better than us. All right, guys. Okay, so on a serious note, though, I mentioned an announcement, guys, for a project I'm going to be doing. This will not be a Vanishing Gates project, quote unquote, but it's very near and dear to my heart for the sake of living through an event. On this day in 1997, can you read this, Jack?
I'll read it for you.
You can't read?
On November 25th, 1997, there was a young woman, which is not named.
I got this.
What is her name?
You didn't write her name down?
No, he did not.
Read the notes and guess,
he did
guys.
Not. He did not. He did not write her name down.
It's not funny, guys.
It's not funny. It's not funny at all because I know exactly
names.
where you're at because I actually went through the same thing.
Because I wrote my own damn notes.
So
really, guys, like Paco wasn't here yet in the area.
Not at all.
So on November 25th, 1997, Karen Mitchell disappeared right here in good old Humboldt County. There's a question of is she kidnapped or vanished. I'm going to be doing a project focusing on the disappearance of Karen Mitchell.
The thing is I don't even remember hearing about this, but I was really young.
Yeah, Jack, my little brother here, we lived like a mile and a half, 2 miles from where she was last seen. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was seen, like, it was the last sighting, if I read your notes right.
Really?
Was Somewhere near the Bayshore Mall, right? Like just
Right by
walking
there.
towards it.
So I'm gonna be doing a show focused on trying to figure out where Karen Mitchell is. It's a big deal. It's not funny. It's a big deal.
It's not funny at all.
She's gone, and it's unfortunate.
You know,
Not to end the show on a crappy note, but
the thing is she may have vanished, but she could have a different identity now with somewhere else. You never know.
You know,
Vanished doesn't mean gone. That's all we can say. Is it doesn't mean
So,
gone.
according to charlieproject.org, she was last seen wearing a long sleeve tan shirt, baggy dark brown corduroy pants, tan leather buckles on her shoes, earrings, and 3 rings on her fingers, and carrying an Nalgene bottle. A lot of people came up and said, "Oh, I saw this and that behind the mall." If you live in Humboldt County, you know behind the mall it's not the greatest place,
I
but
think we actually talked
Devil's
about it in an
Playground.
episode that was called The Devil's Playground.
it's not. It's never been the Devil's Playground
It has.
recently. It's garbage. It's a garbage thing.
You know, this
Cops
actually,
been everywhere, dogs been everywhere. Who knows?
you know,
So
I know we talked about this before the show, and I didn't actually elaborate on it, on my feelings about this. But back when I was in high school, I actually had a classmate that I wasn't really close to, but we were close enough. We talked on a regular basis, you know, had lunch a couple of times, and you know, I wouldn't say I completely knew her, but you know, I knew her. And one day she herself ended up coming up missing, and it was really hard, you know, because like these things don't just affect the families. These things that
community.
they affect the
well, it
community.
doesn't matter. It affects the
affect-
individual
they-
who's gone.
Well,
That's the
that
problem
also
for me.
but you know it really, but it's so much bigger than that, you know, like you had just said, it affects the community also, you know. And
Yeah.
yes, like don't get me wrong, like there is nothing more that you can take out of it to where it affects the person itself, that affects them more. But you know, with them gone, you know, the whole community they go astray. I mean, there's really nothing, like everybody else goes completely
Here's my theory:
crazy.
find the guy that
And-
took them and kill them.
Yeah.
Is that too much? Is that too brash? Too easy? Too
Not
quick?
really.
It-
You know, the thing
it
is one of the things that is not talked about in our county in particular, where we come from, because we come from Northern
All the
California,
drugs
far
and
north.
crap, the grown
We-
dope, and the
Yeah, we have a big
drug
problem with
trafficking,
we have a
human
big problem with
trafficking.
we have several problems in our county. We're from a very small location with 3 entrances, and all of them are small and they're through the forests. Like it'd be really hard to find someone that left this area.
I wouldn't say that. I
We
mean,
have one
our
entrance to the
entrances
forest.
are different.
No, we have
Two
3 different
entrances.
entrances. They're
Not
all like
anymore.
windy roads.
Back then.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
okay.
still
That
today.
said, though, you could pop off 3 or 4 roads and still shut us off.
Yeah. The
Oh,
point
for
is
sure.
that there's a lot of ways to vanish where we come from. And one of the biggest problems we have in our county is actually missing people. We have a massive problem with people who vanish from our county. I think I read a statistic that if you included the missing people from our county, we have a higher death toll if they included the missing people than say Oakland from
Yeah.
a small town.
No, we actually have the highest.
If-
we actually have like the highest crime rate per capita.
We have one of the
Because
highest
of
crime
how
rates.
small we are.
I mean, like, I would say yeah.
No, it's actually a legitimate fact.
I just said I would say yeah.
It's,
Oh well, yeah.
it's per capita.
It's the
What?
strangest thing in this
But
county.
this
like,
is hold
it's
on.
strange.
This is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Karen
This is
Mitchell
before this
disappeared.
stuff really like evolved.
20 years ago, she disappeared. 20 years ago, we didn't lock our doors. She disappeared 3 miles maybe from my front door. 3 miles from my unlocked front door.
In the middle of
In
the day, right?
broad daylight.
On a busy
2:45 p.m. I think 2:45.
And
or 3,
this is the
according to
main
Charlie
street through
Project.
town. It's a 3-lane road, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is a
she was
busy
on Broadway.
street. It
She
wasn't
was
like
on
something
Broadway.
small.
She was on the 101.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how safe this
Busy.
town felt at one point.
Yeah.
Like that's how safe it felt. Like people thought that they were fine and people weren't wary.
so that's that, guys. That's my next project is trying to do a show based on that.
I'll do that for you.
I will be more professional for this project, but less.
Professional.
No, less shows because I want to be more professional because this means a lot.
No, absolutely.
It's still an open investigation, and I mean, 2 serial killers were questioned over this. 2 guys.
Yeah.
Ward was the one guy. He actually walked into EPD with a breast in his hand and threw it on the counter. The other guy was some old serial killer from whatever.
That I did not know about.
Oh, good for you.
The things I do not know about. They allow me to sleep at night.
But I feel like that. I don't know, dudes.
I don't know, my dudes.
I'm gonna do a series, and
No, it'd be a good touching series. You know, I mean, it's good to get everybody involved. It's good to get information out there. You know, and so the more information that's out there, the more information that can get back to everybody. You know, and the better off that we can come to a conclusion with everything that went on.
Imagine it was your friend or your kid or something.
Even with my friend, like
even 20 years ago.
So with the one that I went to high school with, we ended up having, I shouldn't say we, their family ended up doing a burial service, and which I didn't attend because I don't know. Back then I was just really weird. I actually felt like it was too overwhelming for me to go.
You were weird?
Yeah, yeah. Back then, like I felt like it was like way too overwhelming even for me to participate in because like I didn't want to feel everything that I would have felt while I was there. I pretty much just separated myself from it. But they ended up having a burial service with no conclusion, with no with what's the word I'm trying to with no closure, and so you're having a burial service with nobody to bury, I mean, and to have a burial service is tough enough already, and so to be able to do that without the closure is even much harder.
That's the thing. I want closure for the Karen Mitchell case, so I'm doing this show about Karen Mitchell. I don't want to produce the episodes. Some are a bit much and too close to home. It's an open case still. Yes, the police are still involved, and yes, things are still being checked on.
So, one of the things you could say take away from this is essentially always be aware of your surroundings. Like always be aware, and I know this is weird to say, but don't trust everybody. Even those close to you can be enemies. Jay.
You know what? Jack, that makes sense according to this case. So,
on the lighter side of news, don't take candy from strangers.
Yes, no candy.
Unless Paco's a stranger.
Unless the windowless van has candy for kids written on the side of it, then you're fine. I'm sure it's okay. Don't do that. Oh, don't do that. Sorry.
Don't do that.
Sorry, don't do that. We don't condone that. Never mind. Don't do it.
Guys, we had a great guest tonight.
We did.
Awesome.
We did. And
we had a strange
Toledo Spirit Hunters.
I was just about to
dope.
ask.
It was great.
Toledo Spirit Hunters.
I liked him.
I liked him. I liked him a lot. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed having him on the show. It was a great time. He had a lot of information, and just to be able to hear the passion that he has on what he's doing and being able to make the time after, while still building his own career and his own life, I mean, that's just, he's going to strive to unbelievable, dreams, and he's going to make something of himself, and he's going to help people out doing so.
That's a good build up there, Paco.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And on that note, this is Vanishing
people
Gates.
bitch about talking about talking, and then he talks.
No, I mean, you know what? It's interesting to hear how he started.
Spirit Hunters.
People think that people wonder how people go out and investigate stuff all the time. Well, look at this. Look at him. He just said, you know what? I want to investigate, and then he put an ad out on Facebook, found some friends, and just started doing it.
Right.
Just because he wanted to.
Yeah.
It's a passion for the paranormal. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's a willingness to go in freaky situations
it's
that
dope.
Jack don't want to do.
Toledo,
it's dope.
You're awesome.
It's dope.
We love you,
Dope.
Toledo.
You said dope.
It's dope.
Jack said dope.
Dope. Now do the truffle shuffle.
No.
Damn it.
That's rude.
Oh, my bad.
All right, let's go.
Guys, we love you in the face or something.
Vanishers.
I
and
don't-
Toledo.
I don't say
You got
that.
an Xbox, right?
Yes, I do.
So we're gonna be Xboxing later.
Yeah, I'll play it.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
play
I'm gonna
Destiny.
get on.
Play
tonight, too.
Destiny.
Yeah, I'll play Destiny.
Yeah,
Guys,
I'm
you
getting
guys should
on tonight.
follow me and old Jack.
You don't have an Xbox yet, there, Safety.
No, I'll be on PlayStation
Paco
4
plays
at Paco
Lane Station.
Zero.
I still have a PlayStation.
Right, I should probably actually look it up before I.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, let me look that up real quick.
It's
I'll give you
something,
my
something,
tag.
something.
I'll give you my
Something
tag here.
literally
Just a minute. Hold on.
broadcasting on Mixer.
Mine is.
Yep.
I'm on PlayStation 4, and mine is Paco 044.
Is the only game you have Destiny 2, really?
I have Overwatch.
It is Overwatch, but that sucks.
Do you have Overwatch?
No, because it sucks.
Well, I mean, if we can still party.
Destiny 2
I-
is
here's the thing.
amazing. No. I don't care what you have to say. Your points and options and opinions are invalid, and therefore Destiny 2 is the best ever. And
I wasn't gonna say anything about Destiny. What I was gonna
and
say
you
was,
should just go home and play.
even if I'm not playing with the moment with you, I could be in the party chat so everybody can hear us talking. We can banter, and I can actually be on my PlayStation while my Xbox is running and talking.
No.
I
won't
can
allow that.
physically, because I can play
I will
Wolfenstein.
ban you.
I can play
I will
Wolfenstein.
ban
How do
you.
you spell Toledo?
Wolfenstein's a great game. Wolfenstein 2, good game.
Just kidding.
So, guys, thank you for watching tonight for Vanishing Gates.
Hour and a half later.
As always, I'm your host, Jay. This is
The Distracted Jack.
The Distracted Jack.
And I'm Paco. And we had Toledo.
Is that like a dessert?
I know, right? It sounds so cool.
Holy
It sounds
Toledo.
so Holy Toledo.
He's
an
gonna
awesome
think we're
guest.
making fun of him.
No, not at all.
Why would
I
you think
asked
that?
him. I
Because
asked him
you're
if I could do
terrible
this.
people.
I asked him if I could do this, and he said
Ugh.
yes, go for it. He doesn't mind.
I am super not.
We-
Okay, I'm sarcastic. But yeah.
Vanishing Gates looks.
I liked
guys,
him. I just said I
thank-
liked him. Okay, cool.
Can I end the show?
End
he-
the show.
He's a Vanishing
End
Toledo.
the show.
Thank you for watching once again, guys.
This should
We
be a
love
pepper.
you. It's almost Christmas time.
Ew.
I-
Halloween's like 355 days away, you guys.
I don't drink enough for this.
I think you drink more. than
Enough
that.
water.
I've never had enough water.
Let's
to
go
get
to-
hydrated.
All right.
But you
All
probably
right.
want to hit finish first. or
Goodbye,
whatever.
everybody.